This is our safety video for 2017. In the video, there will be a skit with a stern employer, a fed-up safety officer, and a group of unruly lab members that will, at the end of the day, learn a thing or two about the importance of lab safety. We hope you enjoy this film, and we are the Safety Goats. Hello, Mr. Valencia.
How are you?
Great, how about you?
Alright.
Wanted to let you know, congratulations on getting to this step in the interview process. This is the final interview, and you're applying for the safety officer role. So I'm going to ask a series of questions, and I'd like to hear what you have to say about them.
Cool.
And we'll get started.
Awesome.
Let's get going. Can you define the terms risk and safety?
Safety is a condition that is free from hazards, while risk is the realization of these hazards in an environment.
How would you define safety and its relevance to real-time situations?
Safety is a condition which provides you freedom from risk. Definitely the culture in a work environment, it plays a big part in safety. A good culture would make the lab or workplace run a lot more smoothly. But it could also be dependent on other situations in the workplace, from buildings to possible hazards in the workplace. So,
What is a safety audit? On what three bases does it operate?
an audit's pretty much recommendations and corrections to your current safety plan. It definitely operates on measurements, analysis, and testing.
Okay. What is a near miss? And can you share a near miss experience and what you learned from it?
A near miss situation is an accident that could have happened. It could almost be anything. My experience with the near miss was at my previous workplace. We were laying tile, and where we had stacked the tile, there was a weak floor, and the tile fell through the floor. Thank goodness, only a few tiles broke. But it was definitely a near miss, because if an individual would have been standing there, they could have fallen, gotten seriously injured. So that kind of taught me to definitely check for weak floor and to put up red flags around the area where a floor could be weak.
Excellent. What is your biggest weakness?
My biggest weakness would probably be paying extra attention to details. So I kind of get hung up on the details, and it burdens me to a point, but I feel like that's a good trait to have in a safety officer. So
What are your main strengths as a security officer?
I feel like I'm a good manager, highly organized, and I think I have pretty good communication skills. I like to get to know people in my workplace. So
Excellent answer. In the event of a fire inside a building, what thought will be the foremost in your mind?
definitely getting everybody out of the building, because a loss of life is tragic. That would be my number one concern.
Training and/or experience, what is more important in a safety officer's role?
Both, definitely. Training, I feel, is a prerequisite to experience. You have to have it to actually start your work, but experience comes with time, and there's almost no replacement for experience. So I'd have to say both.
Okay. Congratulations, Mr. Valencia. You have been hired on,
Hey!
and we will be seeing you in the lab tomorrow, and go from there. You have a good day.
Awesome. See you there.
Well, here's our lab. This is actually the hallway right now.
Cool.
And just want to show you something, Mr. Valencia. The days since our last accident was 999. That's
Quite a
one
while
away
ago.
from 1,000.
Hope I don't mess it up.
Hey, do you guys know that we have the new safety officer for our lab?
Yeah, I heard that. I wonder what all he's gonna change.
Well, I don't think we don't need to hire him, because we have 999 days since the last accident. So this day is gonna keep increasing. We don't need him.
No, I don't think so either. No one's ever died in our lab.
Yeah, no one died. It's okay, but lab manager just hire him. I don't like it. Let's go and work.
Seriously? For real? So, how's the acid coming along?
It's right there. Okay, this is the chemical cabinet.
Okay.
First, open it. Sit down, open it.
Okay.
This is the sulfuric acid.
Whoa. You need proper PPE before you can handle that. Okay?
Do you know how long I have been here? Nothing's happened before. It's okay.
In a lab, there's a lot of dangerous chemicals that we need to pay attention to. Sulfuric acid is one of these. This stuff will really kill you. So don't play around with it. Here we're going to evaluate the risk of this chemical. So sulfuric acid can seriously cause eye damage. I mean, look at this dude. Can't even see. Sulfuric acid can also cause skin irritation. Like, for real, what did you do, homie, to get this stuff on you? So what can we do to protect ourselves? Like, do we need an Iron Man suit? No, not really. Just need to wear proper PPE. You need to wear gloves. Like, don't get this stuff in your hand, it sucks. Goggles, you just seen that dude with the messed up eye. Not doing too well. And yeah, wear your lab coat, it sucks, but I mean, just wear it. So now that you have the proper PPE, you're good to go. And you? Where's your PPE? Lab coat?
Sorry, one second. Yeah, hi? No, don't worry about it. It's just a safety officer guy.
Glasses? Hearing aid? Something?
Now we're going to take some time to go over some basic, general lab safety tips. We are going to go over a few rules that should always be followed to ensure the safety of lab team members, because when things go wrong, not only can it compromise whatever experiments you might have, but people can also get hurt. So first off, only do the experiments that you or your team are authorized to do in your lab, and that a safety audit has been conducted. That way, if something goes wrong, the lab is prepared to handle that situation. Otherwise, an unknown reaction could occur, leading to a potential dangerous situation. Second, you should know the location of all the safety equipment in the lab. This includes eye wash stations, safety showers, fire blankets, and extinguishers. It's also a good practice to know at least 2 ways to exit the lab in case of an evacuation. Knowing the location is important, but make sure you know how to use the equipment in emergency as well. The third tip is pretty obvious, but make sure the lab area is neat and that equipment is properly cleaned after each experiment. For some labs, they may be used by multiple groups. This is especially important because you don't want a residual chemical to cause a reaction when being used for a separate experiment. You should also eliminate as many distractions as possible while in the lab. It is important to be aware of your surroundings, so leave the cell phones outside and only bring a computer into the lab when authorized to do so. Finally, if something in your lab does go wrong and an accident happens, make sure the accident is reported to lab manager or safety officer. That way the situation can be handled and recorded so as to prevent the same incident from happening in the future. By following these tips, the lab can be safer for all participants, and a day that no injury occurs while in the lab is a good one.
What's up, man?
Hey, man.
What are you working on?
Some spreadsheets.
There you go. Getting it done, huh?
Yeah, for the most part.
Did you just put your chocolate in there?
Yeah, it was melting.
There's flammables and explosives in there, man. That's it, man. Go get your team members. We're about to have a team meeting. We need to talk about the safety issues.
Now, some tips on chemical storage. Chemicals can interact in many ways, and storage is often overlooked. There are many things that can go wrong with improper storage of these chemicals. Proper storage of chemicals are an extremely important part of lab safety. All chemicals should be dated when received and opened in the lab. Never store chemicals on worktops or on the ground in the lab. People could trip, or a dangerous chemical could be spilled and cause an accident or even a fatality. Highly flammable materials should be stored in an explosion-proof refrigerator, not chocolate like that was shown in the video. All chemicals stored in a refrigerator should be capped to avoid vaporization. Inventory should be done frequently to avoid overcrowding of chemical materials. Chemicals should never be stored in a fume hood. This could inhibit the ability of the hood to ventilate. Acids and bases should also be stored away from each other in different areas. And lastly, never eat, drink, or store food in a chemical lab, as this can also cause an injury or even a fatality.
Hey guys, that new safety guy just caught me putting chocolate in the refrigerator, which apparently I'm not supposed to do. But he called a team meeting, so we gotta go in there.
I didn't know we weren't supposed to do that.
Well, I just care if the temperature is gonna be good for your chocolate or not. Welcome.
Alright, everyone. So I called y'all in here today to bring up the issues that we had today in the lab. So, Trent, you did not have any PPE on whenever you went to handle the acid. I mean, I don't know what you were taught before I got here, but you need to have proper PPE at all times while you're in the lab. Samantha, you as well did not have PPE when you were experimenting. Also, you just flat out ignored me while you were on your phone, which I think is pretty rude. And Chris, you're not supposed to put any food in the fridge. I mean, it's pretty dangerous. That fridge is for explosives, and you never know. There could have been a container that was leaking. It could have gotten on your food, and things could have been bad. So, what can we do to fix these?
Yeah, I mean, I could see some chemicals or something getting on or soaking into the chocolate or fruit that I bring in here, so I'm probably gonna stop putting that in the combustible refrigerator.
Yeah, you know, he was right. I mean, there's been a few close calls where I've been on my phone and rolled spilled some acid stuff, so I'll stop doing that.
Yeah, well, actually, when I keep thinking about that, I think he's right too. Because like, what happened if I just keep using the acid in a bottle like that without a cloth? It's gonna spill on my skin. It's gonna burn my skin so bad. You know, it's a sulfuric acid, 99%. It's not kidding. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome, guys. Well, good talk, and we'll see you on the lab.
Why is it important to have safety meetings? The safety officer gathered the 3 individuals who had broken rules in the lab, and here are following reasons to why we have safety meetings. Safety meetings encourage safety awareness. Other means of getting the safety message across are often too easily ignored, but when a group of workers get together to discuss the hazards they have encountered and the steps they can take to eliminate them, it increases each worker's safety consciousness. Safety meetings get employees actively involved. In a sense, safety meetings put employees on the spot. That is, they demand feedback. They get employees thinking about safety and encourage them to come up with ideas and suggestions for preventing accidents and minimizing the hazards with which they are most familiar. Safety meetings motivate employees to follow proper safety practices. Small group meetings are the best place to demonstrate the uses of protective equipment, proper lifting technique, and other safety procedures. Safety meetings can help to nip safety hazards in the bud. A safety meeting is the time to pinpoint minor hazards before they result in real problems. It also presents a good opportunity to discuss hazards that are inherent in the environment and that experienced employees are likely to take for granted. Moreover, safety meetings introduce workers to new safety rules, equipment, and preventive practices. In addition to introducing new things, a safety meeting is a good time to reinforce the importance of long-standing safety procedures and to remind employees of the reasons behind them. Lastly, safety meetings provide vital information on accident causes and types. Regular meetings are the best way of keeping employees up to date on the hazards in their environment and what can be done about them. They also make it easier for the company to maintain accurate accident statistics, an important tool in tracing the progress of prevention efforts.
Oh, I need some sulfuric acid for my device. Yeah.
This chocolate tastes bad.
Hello again, Mr. Valencia. I heard something happened in the lab. Can you give me some of the details?
We don't know all the details right now. The only stuff that I do know is that Chris was injured. Apparently he ingested some kind of harmful material, and there was a chemical spill in the lab. I'm assuming that it involved Trent and Samantha because they were both still in the hospital.
Well, apparently we had 999 days since the last accident, and now I see a big fat 0 up there. You know, we have a safety audit in 3 months. What are we going to do about that?
We'll have a meeting with the other managers. I will shoot them an email and let them know about the situation, and we'll work through it.
Alright, hopefully something can be done, have a solution to this.
Yeah, me too. But right now we were gonna have a team meeting before the incident, and it was pushed back to next week.